Good evening everyone and welcome to the final rounds of the Ford Escort RS 1600 League from NXTGEN Racing on Facebook. And we are here in Lincolnshire at Cadwell Park. It's a brand new track for NXTGEN. Obviously, for those that play the Project Cars 2 game, you will know that you can only get a maximum of 12 drivers around this track in these cars. So that's why it hasn't been used in any other league, but seeing as we have got quite small cars and a shortage of numbers, we decided we would be able to quite comfortably accommodate the car and track combo. So we're really looking forward tonight to see what this track can offer and how the drivers will fare around this 2.17 mile, 3.47 kilometre track layout. Drivers have just started qualifying, 15 minutes followed by a 25-minute race. That will then be followed by a sprint race a bit later on this evening, which will be a 5-minute qualifying session followed by a 15-minute race. Only 7 drivers on the grid tonight, unfortunately. Hopefully a few more will join throughout the evening, although not sure it will happen. But the drivers we have are Ayatel, Whitford 0, Web User Johnny, Bob MK1, Larnica 666, NGR Scooby G, and champion for this season, NGR Lee. Very technical and tricky track, especially with how narrow the width is. Not much room for error. Sometimes has been referred to as the mini Nürburgring. The fast flowing sections at the start of the lap, followed by the very tricky final sector, as the drivers are just heading into now. We'll have a lap on board a bit later on. Scooby G is leading the line, and you can fully expect a lot of mistakes from these drivers tonight. The track is really tricky. A lot of places to lose time, but let's see how they fare as they're crossing the line for the first time tonight. Their first flying laps going onto the board now. And it looks like NGR Lee is currently fastest of the 4 drivers to have set a time at the moment. Johnny crosses the line and goes into 5th. Ayatal, a driver we've not had, as far as I can remember, in this championship, but was a quick driver on his day throughout other series at NXTGEN Racing, so hopefully he'll be able to show some flashes of speed tonight. And we're pleased to have him on board for what will be the final race in the Escorts, as well as it being the end of our season. It's going to be the end of the Escorts unless someone else picks up, because unfortunately I will no longer be able to host and commentate for you due to work commitments. So just getting to grips with the car and the track, quite hard for him to come straight into a track like this without having driven the cars previously, or at least driven the cars in anger. Scooby G's gone back to the pits. There's the drivers coming back round now. Where's Lee gone? Okay, Lee's giving himself a lot of space to work with. Whitford's coming round to finish his second lap. Let's have a little ride on board with him. Hopefully he'll go for another flying lap straight off, and he's put himself up to second place with that last lap. So here we go, into turn 1, keep it planted through here. Maybe a little lift, but a little lift generally tends to make the car understeer through turn 1. Then just a flick of the shifter down to 3rd. Maybe a little bit of a lift, but Whitford's clipped the edge of the grass, and that has sent him round, therefore ruining that lap. Who is behind him? I think it was Larnaca. So let's carry on with Larnaca, currently in 4th place as he heads up now to Park Corner, turn 4 on the track. One of the bigger braking zones on this track, but carrying a lot of speed, and then flat out through Chris Curve and down towards Gooseneck. Gooseneck's an interesting one, can be taken almost flat if you get it right, maybe just a flick down of a gear, and indeed that is how Larnaca has sorted himself out through there. Now tricky downhill braking into Mansfield, and get it straightened up and head towards the mountain. Infamous corner here. A lot of people, well, bikes get a lot of air over the top of the mountain here, just up this steep incline. Larnaca screwing up the entry there, so not getting the momentum he needed to get over and gaining time. In fact, he probably lost about a second or two, and then into the ridiculously tight and hard hairpin corner. Many scene of many an incident, especially in my case. I really struggle with that one, but that is a lap of Cadwell Park, and we're going to have 25 minutes after this 15-minute qualifying session to watch the drivers battle it out around this track. Established in 1934 by Mr. Mansfield Wilkinson, was in fact used for his sons to race against each other on their motorbikes, and he actually named some of the corners after his sons and himself, in fact. So there's a Mansfield corner for himself, Chris Curve, and a Charlie as well. So I'll point them out when we get to them. Where is Larnaca now? He's just come round Chris Curve, and he's now heading down towards Gooseneck. Charlie's is turn 2. Mansfield is the one at the bottom of this hill. So Mansfield just hit. Let's see how the rest of the drivers are getting on. Ayatol has moved himself up to 5th place, so he's getting to grips pretty quickly, it seems, with these cars. Just making sure he doesn't throw it off the track. Almost did there. But coming across the line again, does he improve any further? Webby's Johnny has returned to the pit lane. ASL not improving that time round. Bob MK1 only had a couple of races with us. Joined at Brands Hatch, Alton Park, and now here at Cadwell Park. So still relatively new to the series. Great to see him back again. Had a best result of 6th place last time out at Alton Park. Not improving that lap for Bob, but still putting the laps in, getting the practice. Will take time, so some drivers may well be using this first race just to familiarise themselves a bit more with the track, and then really attacking anger later on in the sprint race. But NGR Lee has gone even quicker, a 42.540. That's the quickest I've seen anyone go around there. Saw Lee earlier getting a higher 42s. Scooby G was in the mid to low 43s. Scooby G just a little bit slower than that at the moment. Currently sitting in 3rd, 1.2 seconds off the pace, as he's just going through the tricky uphill section at Hall Bends, and now into the hairpin, and then through Barn Curve. Some people might recognise this track from the film Rush. Scooby G obviously watching this as he giving us a flash and knows that we're on board with him. But yeah, so this film rush was some of it. The early part of the film, where James Hunt and Niki Lauda are battling it out in Formula 3 or Formula Ford, I think it was. That part of the film was filmed here at Cadwell Park. And some of it was also filmed at Crystal Palace. For those of you that remember Crystal Palace, I don't personally remember it, but I have seen it, like races of around Crystal Palace. Seems to be quite a good track, quite a small track, but very fast. But anyway, let's get back to the matter at hand, which is qualifying. Whitford still in second, and is second in the points. Pushed Lee to the penultimate rounds of the season before succumbing to the eventual champion, and is pretty sure we haven't got any points for tonight, but I'm pretty sure he can't be moved from second place in the points either. Scooby G is in third place. Yeah, so I think them three are nailed on for the positions they have. So it's all about going out there, having a bit of fun tonight, seeing what they can do. I've seen some excellent racing throughout the season. Oh, Whitford almost throws away a lap there, losing a bit of time, but just gathering himself up again as he charges down to the mountain. Does he get in the air? No. So I found that you have to lift off a little bit just as you hit the crest of the hill, just so they don't get the wheel spin, and you can power out and keep an eye on that, see if the drivers tonight are doing that. As NJ Lee has returned to the pits, giving himself a little bit of a break before the race. Unless he comes out now, get on another lap, doesn't seem like he will. But Whitford crosses the line, doesn't improve this time. He might get 2 more laps out of this if he doesn't screw up too badly on the lap. So let's go back on board with him as he's putting his foot down here. Just a little bit of a lift through Charlie's corner, down Park Straight, up the hill. Imagine this will be a good bit of slipstream down here, and maybe a lunge or two into Park Bend, as Whitford has gone deep and gathers it back up, but I don't think he's going to improve on this lap time unless his current best is not what he necessarily wanted either. Just under a minute left of the session, drivers getting their final laps underway. And head to mountain, use the uphill gradient to help slow the car down. Whitford not lifting off at all, just keeping his foot in, not worrying about the wheel spin. Maybe that was just me. I'm not the most experienced in these cars. Whitford 08 definitely is a lot more experienced than me. Taken 3 wins this season. First 2 of the year in the season at Watkins Glen Short, and then last race at Alton Park Fosters. And Whitford doesn't improve that lap, but does get across the line to start one more. But let's have a little look at the other drivers coming across the line. Where are we? Bob MK1 improved his time throughout the session, but remains in 7th. Web user Johnny has returned to the pits, who's coming up the hill. NJ Scary G has retired as well. We're on a car on a lap. Ayatol will be the next across the line, as he's just got to mountain now. Oh, big whack of curb there. Stuck the back end out, and there we go. That's what I was talking about, a little bit of wheel spin, just to unsettle the car. And you really have to know the track around this bit. A lot of it is quite blind. Just running a little bit wide out the hairpin, but nonetheless comes out of the final corner to cross the line. I think he's not going to improve judging by the way he's weaving. Whitford has also given up. Larnaca will be the last to cross the line. So he comes through Barn. Down here. Does he improve? Currently in 4th. No, he doesn't. Okay, so there is your provisional grid. That is your grid for tonight. NGR Lee taking yet another pole position, being utterly dominant in everything really. This would be his 12th pole. We're in round 15, and he wasn't able to qualify in one because of a reversed grid. So that tells you all you need to know about the dominance of this man for this season. So drivers will have 2 minutes to sort themselves out. They don't usually, they normally take about 30 seconds, so with any luck we'll be underway pretty soon. Here we go then. The final feature race of the season from NXTGEN Racing. Ford Escort RS 1600s are underway. NGR Lee gets a good start. Whitford bogged down a little bit, but he should be alright from losing a place to NGR Lee. Webber Johnny's got a good start, and having a look at Larnaca 666. ARTL's dropped to 6th place, and Bob MK1 remains in 7th, but everyone through turn 1 cleanly and remains on the track. And Scooby G having a look instantly at Whitford 0. These three pulling away already. Larnaca 666 heads the second pack, and Web User Johnny's having a look down the inside. Will he be able to get the move done into turn 4? He doesn't. Outbrakes himself a little bit, and ALTL is going to try and get the cut back on him. Not quite able to do it, but still filling the mirrors of Web User Johnny's yellow and black machine as they come down gooseneck for the first time. ALTL almost losing the back end there. Bob MK1 in close proximity and will look to take any advantage he can, but Bob almost lost it himself. It's getting some air, not where you would normally get some air over this track, but thankfully keeps it pointing forward and on the course, so he's not lost too much time. As I said at the start of the qualifying session, I imagine there will be a lot of mistakes from drivers throughout the field tonight, so definitely worth keeping it going on and trying to take advantage of any mistakes that do occur. NGR Lee though is leading the field, as he's done for so much of this season. Across the line for the first time, followed by Whitford and then Scooby G. They're our top 3 in this race and in this championship. Scooby G getting 2 Project Cars 2 titles to his name just this week. 2 more titles to his name this week, should be said. A serial winner in multiple series across the NXTGEN Racing community. Winning the Group A Tours and the Modern Tours as well. But only got his first wins in the 2 seasons we've done. Only got his first wins in the Escorts at Brands Hatch, and took a double, I think. No, sorry, he took just one win, double fastest laps in feature and sprint. But just the one win to his name throughout all the races we've done, and it's quite unheard of for Skibby G to go without winning so often. But there you go, getting a little slight bit of air over the mountain and through hill bends down into the hairpin, get the back end to step out. And these boys pulling each other along, getting a nice gap to line for 666. Going to be another lonely race, it seems, for the silver and black machine. Missed Alton Park, but feature race at Brands Hatch was one of the loneliest races you'll ever see from a driver, and he may well be on par for another one of those. But AL Tell has dropped right to the back. He has obviously come off somewhere. That moved Bob MK1 up to 6th place, his best result, equal his best result if he stays there. Throw in the car through turn 1 Coppice, and then turn 2 at Charlie's. Webby's and Johnny in 5th as well. So back to the front, it is still NGR Lee who heads the pack. Let's just get the north exit to come to Gooseneck for the 3rd time. Skibby G piling the pressure on Whitford, who's getting a little bit out of shape through the Gooseneck. Skibby G wasn't close enough to capitalise. Having said that, Whitford Zero did collect it up very quickly and cut his losses there, so maybe only lost at 10th or 2. Ride on board the Skibby G and watch him put some pressure on the yellow and black machine of Whitford Zero. Went on a very good run of podiums recently, which was only ruined last race by One High Mofo. Crossed the line just tenths of a second, I think it was, in 3rd place. But there we go, Skibby G has run off wide, keeping his foot in down the straight. Thankfully he hasn't lost too much time, but will that be a crucial slipstream lost? Long straight down here, and very useful for the slipstream. But Skibby G has run wide again. Meanwhile, Whitford Zero is putting the pressure on NGR Lee, so Lee made a mistake as well. Battle for the lead is just at 2 tenths, and Whitford really trying to stop Lee from getting into a rhythm. We have seen Lee make a few mistakes whilst leading this season, especially at Brands Hatch in the feature race. He was a few seconds clear of everyone coming into, like, I think maybe the last 5 minutes or so of the race, and then made a mistake, dropped back to 3rd, and handing the victory, to a well-deserved victory, it has to be said, to Skibby G, who was really dominant that week. But Whitford Zero also trying to force Lee into another mistake. But Lee just getting himself back into the groove, not really any overtaking positions, opportunities in the last half of the lap through all the hilltop madness. So Whitford just have to sit in behind, and Lee just needs to keep it pointing forward through there, and he should be fine. Little touch of the brake through Chris's, through Charlie's even. Now down the straight. Does Whitford close in? And if so, how much does he close in? He looks like he is, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move. Both drivers using all the exit curb possible, and a little bit more in Whitford's case. but this is relentless from Whitford. Really fun track to drive, has to be said, although very hard to get right, but very satisfying once you nail a lap. NGR lead definitely did that in qualifying in the 1:42.5. Whitford just trying to get work an angle here. Just taking a little bit of a different line to Lee through the mountain. But wasn't actually able to work through him. And he's since got back to almost a second now. Just a reminder that these drivers are using the default setups, either loose or stable. Oh, Hotel has just made a mistake. He was just on the back of Bob MK1 at one point, but slight error there. He's dropped back again. Larnaca and Webby's Johnny still very, honestly, not very lonely. Webby's Johnny's holding on to the coattails of Larnaca's 666. But meanwhile, Skibby G has closed the gap again to Whitford. Well, slightly closing the gap. It was the quickest of anyone last time around, and might well be in the slipstream again. So hopefully, for the sake of an entertaining race, he will be. But yeah, the driver's using default setups. We're using realistic assists, and being classic cars, they will have no assists at all. So the driver's really having to work hard to keep the car pointing forward. Even if they aren't very powerful cars, they are still pretty easy to spin. Just ask AOTL, who seems to have done it a couple of times. But Bob MK1 has gone round at, where's that, turn 4 at Park. Under braking, that's a weird place to do it. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, I don't know, I didn't see it. Just saw Bob on the grass. So will he be able to keep going and close up the gap? Let's hope so. Webby's Johnny is definitely keeping Larnaca honest now. Larnaca lost 5 seconds that last lap to Johnny, so obviously an error there. Now let's stay on board with Johnny, see what he is going to do about Larnaca. 666 just ahead of him. He'll come across the line to complete another lap of this Cadwell Park layout. Currently just over a second and a half behind, maybe 2 seconds behind. But Larnaca had a pretty poor lap 2 laps ago. Johnny closed in an awful lot, so Johnny will be looking to keep the pressure on. So just on the other side of the track where it looked like Lee had a bit of a moment as he come out with gooseneck. He seemed to be on the wrong side of the track. Thankfully for him, kept it on the track, which was the important thing. You can see Larnaca kicking up a bit of dirt there. Pushing the boundaries, don't want to push them too far as it will punish you. It does seem weird to me that there's so much space available. You see the outfield is so grassy that they can't extend the width of this track. It's very narrow, they don't have many mainstream, if any, mainstream races. The only thing they do have is the British Superbikes. Come here once a year, which is the main feature they have here at Cadwell Park. But Scooby G has dropped back a fair bit. He's dropped back to 3 seconds from the leaders. Whitford 0 still keeping the mirrors full of his yellow machine. Keeping NDR Lee's mirrors full of his yellow machine. And not giving him a moment's rest. as we are over halfway now. These two, the only drivers tonight to have had pole positions this season. We've had 3 pole sitters. Whip 0 has had 3. NGR Lee has had, well, he's had a 12 now, and MSRT Silver 27 was the other driver to have a pole position, but he only did a handful of races in the middle of the season. So these two definitely the fastest of the lot. As they say, the cream does rise to the top, and these two giving us a show in fast, accurate, consistent driving. Scooby G almost there at times. Well, he is there at times, but just a bit of inconsistency every now and then. Larnaca has managed to pull away a bit from Johnny, so he'll be pleased to have a little bit of room to breathe now. AL Tel still circulating in 6th place. He's lapping a little bit slower than Web User Johnny ahead. Web User Johnny's times are actually improving over the last few laps, so maybe getting used to the track a bit more. Bob MK1 still going round it as well. We saw him off the track at turn 4. Didn't quite see what it was, but lost a lot of time there, and he'll be hoping that others make similar errors so he can close back up and maybe get another position. Whitford taking a lot of curb there, but each to their own. We'll be keeping an eye on the track limits. Penalties are off. But we've had some excellent races throughout this season. Watkins Glen, the first 2 races of the season were actually really well contested. We had 6, 7, maybe even 8 for the lead at one point, at some points during that race. Sonoma, with a new track to the season we had, we didn't use it last season. Whitford almost gave it too much of a whack into the corner and almost ended up pointing the wrong way. Thankfully gathered it up, but has lost about half a second as a result. But it is still NGR Lee out front, keeping the times ticking over, not allowing Whitford to get close enough to have a sniff at getting past. Willow Springs was our 3rd week of racing, which had the introduction of the MSRT team. There's 3 or 4 of them, and MSRT Silver on his debut managed to force Lee into a mistake for the lead, which dropped Lee to 3rd, and Silver took the victory. So Willow Springs was also a really well hotly contested event, as Cam 123 Diz has joined us and has left us, so I imagine he'll go off and do a little bit of practice while these drivers finish. We will invite him to the next race. Hopefully he'll be able to get on the grid. Cam 123 Diz getting a podium at Brands Hatch. But the gap not disappearing. Lee's not used to this so much. He's had close battles before, but never had to fight too much other than maybe at Willow Springs, for the lead anyway. Sugo was a reverse grid race. The top 5, well, it was meant to be top 5, I think only 3 of them were there for that, so partially reversed grid, but Lee managed to come out on top for both of those. And Whitford has gone off somewhere. I missed that, unfortunately, so that must have been around the first 2 or 3 corners. That's annoying. Sure, I'd be able to see it back on the stream if I was paying attention. Just having a look here. Okay, I think it was at turn 1. Whitford got a little bit out of shape on the exit of turn 1, which compromised his run through turn 2 and probably just run a little bit wide. So the gap now is 4 seconds, and that has relieved the pressure completely for MGR Elite. But Whitford now has to keep an eye on his mirror. The Scooby G is very happy to be joined by Whitford in this battle for second. Larnaca pulling a nice gap to Web User Johnny, up to 7 seconds now, lap in a 1.5 seconds quicker. AL Tel has obviously had a poor lap, 1 minute 58, as he's dropped back quite substantially. And Bob MK1 also having a little bit of a scruffy lap. But we've got just under 6 minutes remaining of this final feature race of the season for the Ford Escort RS 1600s from NXTGEN Racing. Only 7 in this race, unfortunately. Battle for second spot on the podium is still on. Maybe even a win if Lee makes an error that we have seen him make before this season. And the gap has closed down a little bit. BBG, fastest man last time around. Let's just have a look at the fastest laps. 1 minute 42.3 for both the leaders, 1 minute 42.1 for NGR Scooby G. So Scooby G is currently going to get the bonus point for fastest lap of the race. He's got 2 fastest laps of the season, both coming at Brands Hatch. He did the GP circuit in the first feature race and then the Indy circuit in the sprint race. Scooby G currently with the fastest lap in this feature race around Cadwell Park. And seems to be Whitford is just managing the gap. In fact, seems like he's pulling away a little bit. Manages to get turn 1 at Coppice all right that time. So a little tap of the brake through there. And down the long straight. Imagine there'll be about 3 laps left, including this one. Ooh, Scooby G on the grass. Very easy to spin himself around, as some of the drivers further back would be able to vouch for. Alanica 666, a very lonely 4th still. Did have his mirrors filled a little bit with, for a little bit, of Web User Johnny, but his stint's pulled away. Scooby G seems to be pulling back slightly. Then what was that? Web User Johnny heading down the long straight into turn 4. That part, yeah, very lonely for a lot of these drivers, but that's what you get when you don't have many drivers sign up, and it is a shame because these cars are so much fun to drive. It's a shame that not many people are giving them a chance. We've never really had more than 12 or 13 drivers in a race meeting, and some of the races we've had, even with low numbers, have been quite exceptional. The drivers at the front of the field have been very evenly matched, despite what the statistics say. Last season it was from Zaxby TV who took the championship honours, and he showed quite a dominant display throughout the season. However, towards the end, NGR Lee picked up a handful of wins and really closed the gap down, took it all the way to the last race of the season, despite my early outburst of championship glory too early. For those that have followed the two seasons we've done, Donington Park was our penultimate racing season last season. All of ALTL has gone off, but thankfully enough for the leaders, he's got by cleanly to be lapped. But I got all excited thinking that Zaxby TV had won the championship. In fact, he hadn't. It went down to the last race, but managed to hold on anyway. And the lead gap now, as the drivers head on to their last lap, is 2.5 seconds. Don't see it changing unless Lee makes a mistake. But yet to finish off the podium this season is NGR Lee. 14 races, 14 podiums, quite an exceptional record. He picked up 9 wins in the process, this to be number 10. And this will be the 3 most podium drivers in the championship. Again on the podium. Should it stay this way? Even with a mistake, I don't see it. I don't see Larnaca picking up any further positions. Whitford has got the gap down to 2 seconds now. 2 seconds exactly. But I imagine Lee is just bringing it home, taking it easy. No need to throw it away now. Hoogans. Really using the limiter there, flicking it down to first through the hairpin. Relatively easy corner. Hit and down towards the finish line to take yet another victory. 10 wins this season. NGR Lee wins at Cadwell Park. Whitford 0 follows him through in second. Scooby G takes third place. Larnaca a substantial way behind, 57 seconds behind, but nonetheless is still in fourth. Webby's with Johnny's not far behind. I think Larnaca's coasting. Is he? No. Sounds like it. Let's go and do a bit of Johnny. Is he closing in? Going for it. You can see Larnaca just in the distance. I don't know what Larnaca's doing. Is it a problem? There is no damage or mechanical failures, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. But Johnny really closing the gap this time round. You can see Larnaca very slow. No, Larnaca's going to hold on. So Larnaca just about pips Johnny over the line for 4th place. Obies of Johnny home in 5th, and they were the final 2 on the lead lap. ALTL comes across in 6th. Bob MK1 comes home in 7th. And that is your provisional results. I don't think that will change. Didn't seem to be any issues between the drivers there. And fastest lap, as we saw earlier, did stay with NGR Scooby G. So Scooby G will pick up the bonus point there and his third of the season. So we will now have a couple of minutes break, and then we'll be returning with the sprint race. So join us again in a few minutes time, and we'll bring you the final ever race, at least with me, of the Ford Escort RS 1600s.